this is the first Cinderella Castle Suite guest exclusive area that most other guests out in the park never ever get to see. This is our concierge office. This is where we basically sit here by the phone and wait for our guests to call us and tell us that they need something. A couple of little story tidbits that have found their way into our office here. Most noteworthy is the grandfather clock up against the wall. It hasn't moved in a long, long time. If you make a quick mental note of what time it is on that clock, slightly before midnight, because what happens at midnight? That's when the magic spell breaks, right? Well, we don't want that magical experience to end for our guests while they're here in the suite, and so that clock will never quite inch all the way over to midnight. Pumpkins, obviously, Cinderella has a special place in her heart for pumpkins, and so she's got a few representations of pumpkins throughout the suite. And also her friends, the mice and the birds, are always looking out for you when you're staying here in the suite. Over there in the corner, also a stone representation of her glass slipper. And if I can reach behind you right here for just a second, I can tell the elevator that we would like to go upstairs. Go ahead and step inside. This is where you all, if you have not made friends already, this is where it's a necessity because there's only so much room in there. But the lift in Cinderella Castle looks very much like the inside of Cinderella's coach would look if it were not, in fact, a pumpkin.
Okay, hope nobody's claustrophobic.
No, never mind. I don't have to push any buttons, it knows where we want to go. The elevator has two modes. There is a guest mode and a cast mode. When I scan my ID on the little microchip reader outside there, it tells the elevator that we are in guest mode. It will only stop the first floor and also up at the suite. This elevator also services the dungeon downstairs and also the kitchen that is used by the Cinderella's Royal Table restaurant. And that's not necessarily guest area. It's certainly not the dungeon. We don't want you all to go down there and see all the skeletons in our closets and so forth. But it's a long way up, and it's an old elevator, and it runs just on, you know, the mice on hamster wheels downstairs, so pardon the time. Anyway, you all will all become familiar with the tile mosaics downstairs in the breezeway and also at your feet here. The most impressive piece is right outside the coach here. When we finally get there, and the door opens, the grand reveal.
It's me!
You have no idea how I built that up.
No, I know, I heard.
So this is Andromeda. She'll be taking you through the rest of the suite.
Oh, no. You can smell the rest of the side. You can smell the breakfast.
And I'll just play in the elevator some more. Bye, enjoy your tour.
So the most impressive piece that Scott was talking about is if you look down below you, the tiled floor that we have here, 30,000 hand-laid pieces. It was done as they were building the floor up here itself. And the really spectacular thing about it is if you see the yellow, sparkly yellow, that's actually 24 karat gold, and the pixie dust that surrounds it is white gold. Cinderella likes to leave a few mementos of hers behind just to kind of remind all of her guests where she actually is, where they actually are. I mean, if you see above in the case, the one and only remaining glass slipper, right below it, her coronation, scepter, and crown, because of course no princess is complete without her crown. And she always likes to remind herself of the humble beginnings that she had, because she hasn't always been a princess, so she always has her pumpkins there, just a reminder that good things do come to those who wait. If you look around you, you'll see the paintings that we have here on the wall. This is original artwork from the storyboards of Cinderella itself, done and drawn by Mary Blair. You may also have seen Mary Blair's work if you have written It's a Small World. All of the costumes that the dolls wear are all designed and made by her. So now,
she had some good ankle walking out to that key.